I like these evenings. I like them because they are our real reward as adults. When we've worked with the children day in, day out, when we're talking about uniforms and driving them and dropping them off, and books and marking, and in all of that busyness, we forget sometimes to zero in on what is important about what we do. I like these evenings because they're that time when, you know, in that Center Park ad, they say, time to stop and stare. You know, in the Bible it says, time to be still. I like these evenings because they're a time when we just stop and look at what we've done and take the reward. So the kids think they're coming to get their rewards for their achievements. That is true. But what we as adults get out of it is what we have made, and that's our payment. I like these evenings because they give us a reassurance that the principles around which we were brought up still obtain in a world which seems to be changing so fast. I'll tell.
And I was particularly flattered that he told me that the students from the Aspire group had suggested me and recommended me as someone who might be able to come and speak to you this evening. So I'm delighted to be here, and it's good to see such a large turnout. Secondly, to the students, the Year 11s and the Year 12s, I'd like to congratulate you on your achievements, both individually and collectively. It's clear that you've all worked extremely hard, and I'm sure your parents and teachers are extremely proud of your efforts. Okay, that was the easy bit. Can I sit down? When I was considering Mr. Cogger's offer to come along tonight, I was pretty confident that I could do the shaking of hands bit, I could do the handing out of prizes bit, and maybe even survive the taking of pictures and even video bit. But his request did almost have a deal breaker in the fact he said, I'm going to need you to speak to the assembled group of 250 or 300 people. And I got to thinking, well, what am I actually going to say to you all? After all that, and when I speak to young people, when I do mock interview events, I remind them that it's their life, and sometimes they don't realise that things that they do are extraordinary, because to them, they are just ordinary. It's just what they do. They get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go swimming for water polo practice. They stay after school and do other things, and of course they get all their qualifications as well. But the one thing that persuaded me to come and talk to you this evening was the fact that I realised that it was a fantastic opportunity to try something new. Now, from what Dr. Asong said, you probably think that I do this all the time. This is where I'm going to worry you a bit by saying this is the first time I've ever stood in front of an audience this large and this diverse. I noticed this afternoon that the school tweeted about my arrival this evening, which only served to worry me even more. But it does prove that I am on Twitter. I am kind of hip and happening, and you can follow my ramblings at Mark Lakeside Ham if you want to follow me after the presentation. And it's because I was reading that this morning, I was looking at my timeline, that I saw a retweet of something Oprah Winfrey had apparently been quoted as saying, which was, luck is preparation meeting opportunity. And I think that's a pretty good summary of what I'm about to talk to you about now. So as part of my regular job, I do sometimes speak to relatively large groups of young people. Like I said, I've never spoken to anybody or any group as large as this one. And I've certainly never ever been called a guest of honour. So thank you very much. Frankly, if I was in your place, I might be a bit disappointed in the fact that you're not listening to or looking at somebody slightly better known or more famous. I mean, in 2012, the least you could expect would be somebody who could stand up here and tell you how they won an Olympic or Paralympic medal or won a bike race or done something like that. And when Mr. Cogger originally contacted me, I really was thinking, what was he thinking? And I came to the conclusion it was probably something like, bother, Danny Crates isn't available, who the hell can we ask? So you've probably worked out by now that I'm not going to be able to regale you with stories of world-beating personal achievements, but I thought I would share with you one or two ideas from people whose names may be slightly better known. Now, Tony Robbins is an American that you may or may not have heard of. He's a life and business coach who's written dozens of self-help books, and some of his speeches are available to be downloaded and watched on YouTube and places like that. And I watched one of his recently, and he started introducing his audience to 6 concepts that he believes are vital to personal development. But the first 2 on the list, if you want to call it that, appear to be completely contradictory, because he spoke about the need for people to have both certainty and uncertainty in their lives. He prophesied, if that's the right word, that too much certainty in someone's life really leads to boredom, ultimately leads to boredom. And to avoid this, it's vital that people and businesses try new things to help them develop and grow. Another reason why I'm here tonight, because as I said, it's the first time I've ever stood in front of an audience this large, but it's never too late to try something new. In his opinion, not seeking out opportunities and not accepting those opportunities when they're offered means that you're not really addressing a human need for uncertainty. He thinks, and I agree, that saying why not or yes is much more rewarding and nearly always leads you to having a better understanding of your own capabilities. Now, I'm not going to stand here and encourage people of any age to do anything illegal or immoral. Saying yes to that is just plain stupid. But over the last decade, I've really discovered that when I take positive decisions, even to do something slightly scary as I'm doing now, and you have no idea how my legs are shaking at the moment, the outcomes are really very rewarding and definitely more illuminating than if I'd done nothing. Sometimes it takes a major event to change your mindset, and for me, that major event came in 2001. Until then, I am 100% certain that I would not have been given the opportunity to speak at an event like this or anything similar, and even if I had, I would have run 100 miles from it and declined. I would have found any old reason to turn around and send my apologies. Now, just over 11 years ago, my wife, my baby son and I were living in New York. We had a very nice apartment on the Upper East Side, and by any measure we had a comfortable life. Expensive, but comfortable. My trading job, I worked for Bank of America in the foreign exchange market, was generally considered pretty stressful, but I had plenty of experience and knew what I was doing. And combined with the generous salary package that I'm sure has become the bane of many of our lives in terms of banker salaries and stuff, my life had a high degree of certainty and security. Foreign exchange had been my life since 1980. High times, good times, bad times, the occasional redundancy, which I spoke to the Aspire group about. But by 2001, it was probably true, I was a little bored with it. I hadn't tried anything new in a long time. Now, please don't misunderstand me. When I was made redundant in 2001, just 4 weeks after the 9/11 tragedy and the attack on the Twin Towers, that was no fun whatsoever. But it did make me do something new. And what I'm about to try and tell you is that doing new things does in fact help you develop. My need for uncertainty has been met in the last 11 years. But the one really positive thing that 2001 and the 9/11 and everything around that said to me was, be more of a why not person. Stop making excuses not to do stuff. I'm therefore convinced that I've developed much more as an individual in the last 10 years than I had in the previous 45. And certainly more than if I'd stayed doing foreign exchange for a large American bank for the next 10 or 15 years. So since 2001, I've come home. As Dr. Asong said, I finally graduated. I finally got a degree from Anglia Ruskin in finance and education. It's something I'd chosen not to do when I was 18, and I wouldn't necessarily encourage everyone to go to university at 18. It's a long life. You can learn and earn, but that's another story. I qualified as a primary teacher subsequently thereafter and taught for a couple of years. Now, having done that, I have absolute admiration for the people on the stage behind me because I hated it. But that's another story as well, for another time. But I did, it wasn't wasted time. It was something new, and I learnt a lot about myself, young people, and indeed the world of education. Between 2006 and 2009, I worked for a not-for-profit company, and as would be fairly typical, that company got closed down, so I was made redundant again, and effectively I took it over. I decided to run it myself. Now, in the last 10 years, away from my jobs, I've worked alongside the promotional team at the Lakeside Hammer Speedway, and for the last 4 years I've developed and run the club's community liaison programme, which has yet again given me new experiences. I've got to meet new people. You know, it's not every day you can say you're on first name terms with a current world champion, even though it is in a sport as relatively niche as speedway racing. But all of those opportunities have come because I was proactive and, you know, went directly to the club and volunteered. If I could work with schools and work with them, you know, that would be a great thing to do. Speedway has been a passion of mine since 1973, so finding ways of contributing to the Hammers development has been a dream come true for me. In 2009 I gained a cricketing coaching qualification so that I could help at my son's club, and so I managed Colts teams there as well. Now, for the sake of balance, I have to say that none of the benefits I'm talking about have anything to do with money. But in almost any other way, all of the experiences have been tremendously rewarding. I can honestly say that I have discovered real benefits from seeking out opportunities and from saying yes to trying new things, and I want to encourage you all to do the same. So to finish, and you'll be glad I'm now finishing, I'd like to wish all the current Year 11s the very best of luck with your upcoming exams, and without being unkind to last year's group, I hope that you smash the brilliant results that they achieved. To those of you that have moved on to work or college or sixth form, I'd like to share some news of some encouraging research. A gentleman called Professor Anthony Mann, who, unless you work in a particularly niche area or read a particularly small part of the internet you won't have heard of, revealed recently that young people who attend schools like Gable Hall, where an emphasis is placed on giving pupils opportunities like the superbly organised mock interview day that I attended the other week, are 5 times less likely to become NEET, i.e. not in education, employment or training, when they get to their early 20s, than those pupils who don't get that type of opportunity that you've been provided with here. So as graduates of Gable Hall, I'm confident on your behalf that you can look forward with confidence, as you've definitely benefited from both an excellent academic instruction and tuition and the type of extracurricular activity that employers and in universities are looking for. So your parents and teachers have helped you to get this far. And even if you don't want to applaud me in a moment's time, can I please ask that you show your appreciation for all the work and support that they have provided you with. I really hope that each and every one of you get all the opportunities that you deserve, and remember, luck is preparation meeting opportunity. Thank you very much.
Later a winter wonderland. Lizzie Connor, Art and Design Achievement. And that is it for Art and Design. A round of applause, please. Leah Green, BTEC Art and Design Achievement. Molly Frew, BTEC Art and Design Achievement. And that's it for BTEC Art and Design. Let's give them a round of applause, please. Ryan O'Neill, Biology Achievement. A round of applause, please. Hannah Clifford, Business Studies Achievement. And that is it for Business Studies. And applause, please. Okay, next group awards. James Payton for Achievement. Georgia Flewers for Achievement. Emma Smith for Achievement. Round of applause, please. Georgia Robertson for Achievement. Would you like to have a quick photo? Oriofi Ogunle for achievement. Reese Hall for effort. Laura Skilling for achievement. Round of applause, please. Victoria Perkis for achievement in food technology. Round of applause, please. Okay, first I'd like to call Montez Eula for effort. Tara Whiting for achievement in French. Tyler Bowers for effort in French. Connor Brown for achievement in French. Round of applause, please. Luke Pettican for achievement in geography. Chloe McAllister for effort in geography. Emma Collins for achievement in geography. Round of applause, please. Charlotte Nichols for achievement in graphics. A round of applause, please. For effort. Namby Chubb for achievement. George Allen, effort in history. Round of applause, please. Liam Carson from Information Technology Achievement. I think Liam might have been a little bit late. Round of applause. Round of applause, please. Okay, next 4 awards are for mathematics. First award goes to James Dakin for effort in mathematics. Hayley Armand for achievement in mathematics. Emma Collins for effort in mathematics. And finally, Catherine Nichols for achievement in mathematics. Samantha Godfrey for achievement in media studies. Round of applause, please. Holly Thurman for achievement in music. Grace Roberts for effort in music. And Amusi Liu for achievement in music. Brad Hill for achievement in performing arts. Jack Goulding for effort in performing arts. And finally, Michael Stubley for achievement in performing arts. Round of applause, please. Okay, first awards, Alex Williamson for effort in performing arts dance. Chris Higginson for achievement in performing arts dance. Olivia Busby, effort in performing arts dance. And finally, for achievement in performing arts dance, Lauren Phil. And Illyrian for achievement in PE. George Horgan for effort in PE. And finally, Jennifer Pettican for achievement in PE. Samantha Godfrey for achievement in public services. Round of applause, please. For achievement, Elliot Hesketh. Round of applause, please. Thanks, Steve. Someone might have to enlighten me on what that is. There you go. And that's for effort, and that goes to Zoe Mellowship. Goes to Lizzie Connor. Second award, also for achievement, Laura Skilling. Bring your own crowd in, Laura. Applause, please. Goes to Rebecca Hammond. This is for effort in Spanish. For achievement in Spanish, Ruby May Radcliffe. Also for achievement in Spanish, Stevie Osborne. Round of applause, please. Also for effort in Sport BTEC, Lauren Gay. Round of applause, please. Leah Flickroff for achievement in textiles. And finally, Molly Frew for effort in textiles.
So
Holly Ann Doyle. Jay Lamb. Tara Whiting. Jodie Morris. And finally, Laura Skilling. Round of applause, please. Okay, and Nick. Harry Croom. Holly Fearman. Ryan Hildrew. Georgia Robertson. Michael Stubley. Round of applause, please. Lauren Flitcroft. Tiffany Jeffrey. Ruby May Ratcliffe. Emma Collins. Hannah Clifford. And finally, Emma Smith. That was Laura, Emma, by the way.
Thank you.
Round of applause, please. Casey Clampin. Thomas Graves. Teresa Mutingangera. And finally, Molly Frew. Round of applause, please. Liam Carson. Owen Parker. Louise Waller. Casey Jackson. Charlotte Nichols. And finally, Andrew Stewart. Daniel Lamb. George Cunliffe. And finally, for effective team worker, Ryan O'Neill. And round of applause, please. Tim Marley. Catherine Riley. Lizzie Connor. Louise Waller. Sydney Richmond. Round of applause, please. Sitting long now. Obviously, Darcy hasn't been watching for the last hour and a half. Kai Holloway. And that is our games captains for last year. And finally, Reece Hall, last year's head boy.
On behalf of our students, staff and parents here at Gable Hall School, we'd like to say thank you for coming to our presentation evening this evening, and thank you for your inspirational and wise words that you produced to us.
As a token of our appreciation, we would like to present you with this gift. Thank you for coming.
contents of that bag be H2O. This is the bit where the evening gets slightly more interesting. It is my great pleasure to speak to you today about someone who's going to win the Head Teacher's Prize. I think the shorthand for the person who wins the Head Teacher's Prize is that they're the biggest brain in the school, bar none, statistically proven. No arguments, objectively, positively. Put with their cohorts in a year, shaken every which way. This is highly, we had to be sure that the methods that we used to verify who would win the Head Teacher's Prize would stand up to scrutiny. The person who we're talking about today had these grades. And every time when I'm having a bad day, I pick up these grades and I read them. Just listen, bear with me. You'll see the point when I get to the bottom, if I get to the bottom of the list. Art, textiles, A star, that was last year. Biology, A star. Not A star. Chemistry, A star. Citizenship, A star. English literature, English language, A. English literature, A star. Fine art, A star. French, B. Double ICT, so one ICT and another ICT. Distinction, read, A star. Maths, A. Physics, A star. RE, A star. Sociology, A star. PE, A star. Statistics, A. Now, let's work that out. That's 12 A stars, 3 A's, and a B that they got in year 9. In total, this person had 15 GCSEs. I mean, I am in awe of just reading the facts to you. The hair behind my head stand up on end. 15 and a half GCSEs. Now that amounted to, I didn't do this, Mr. Stokes did this, 863 points. If you consider that a C is worth 40 points, this kid, this student, had the equivalent of 21 C grades. That's the amount that 4 red year did that. Fact, history. Teachers absolutely love this person. They are a wonderful self-manager. They work like a dog. That's a compliment. My definition of intelligence is 2 words: hard work. There is a story that's going about, and if this is true, this is terribly uncanny. Because I remember some decades ago, I can't remember, my parents looked at me, were certain that I was never going to get 1 GCSE to save my life. And my unfortunate father said to me, I'll give you £25 for every GCSE you pass. That was in 1983, it was. Lillian Skinner was still open. I don't want to tell you what happened in August. My dad never made that mistake again. He had 7 children. Well, there is a story going about, and I'd like to ask this person whether it's true when they come to collect their prize, that this is what happened at home. It looks like this person's parents made the strategic mistake of telling this person that they would get a certain amount of money for a certain grade, and I bet they're still paying off the loan now. It's a good one. Try it, works every time. There was a head teacher in the south of England who about 7 years ago did offer £25 for every GCSE that children passed. He never made the mistake again. His results were good on that year though. Right, so this person is very creative and is currently, I'm narrowing down the odds now, studying sociology, psychology, art and English literature. This person is a gift to this world, is a gift to this school, and will be a gift to the lucky university which inherits her. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Gable Hall Head Teachers Award of the year of 2012 is I just thought I should torture you for a bit longer. Miss Skilling, Laura. Tell me, did they really promise you the money for the grave? Yeah. Go on. Well, how much did you make out of it?
I don't want to give it away.
Clever girl. I told you. Do you have anything to say to people who are coming after you or your mates?
This is a bit cringy to say something.
Laura has 2 ears, a nose, a mouth, and is human, and had 15.5 GCSEs. Congratulations.